This deal gets done in the daytime sun with Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse. Today we close the Saturday portion of the schedule with two teams eager for a victory. Team Kylie Ohlmiller takes to the turf to battle the team led by Kaylee Waters. Tick-tock, tick-tock, the end of the regular season arrives tomorrow. And the Geico leaderboard is where your attention needs to be focused. The top four will earn medals once the final game gets played Sunday. Taylor Cummings is in control. Kaylee Waters needs a monster performance, while the rest of the chasers keep running the race. A very pleasant welcome to you alongside Courtney Martinez-Connor, a five-time national champion at Maryland. I'm Joe Beninati. Off of their losses yesterday, Court, what do these teams need to do to bounce back?
You know, first and foremost, this is just the second time that they've played together, so they're able to make corrections from that very first game after the draft. And what they want to make sure is that they're playing together as a team. We did see some individuality out there yesterday, and so it's about using the ball to your advantage, working together from both the offensive as well as the defensive end.
We saw Kylie Ohlmiller crank up her immense offensive game with 4 goals, and still that wasn't enough to avoid a loss and prevent her from losing 2 places on the leaderboard.
Kylie took advantage of her matchup, and by a matchup, it was not an easy one. Becca Block, an amazing defender, one of the top in the world, but she was able to use her razzle-dazzle, her fancy footwork, her ability to dodge in and out, split, and then split again. She is such a finisher inside, but she also has the ability to shoot from downtown, catching the keepers by surprise.
This player has been a dynamo for 5 weeks. The numbers don't lie, and if she can get on the winning side today, watch out. One player who's carrying a lot of momentum as the season winds to a close is Amanda Johansson. We have seen her play improve game after game, and she makes a ton of plays that jump off the page.
Amanda's a true two-way midfielder. She's able to cause turnovers. She has a tremendous reach, and right here, causing a turnover with that help sliding defense, but also her ability offensively to finish the play. So very important offensively. You want to make sure you go until that goal is scored, but in transition, she has the opportunity to pull up and take a shot. If no defensive player is marking her, she's going to do that.
Number 7 there, center screen, has range. She has a high-velocity shot and is someone to be reckoned with today. So, Court, let's give the people a better understanding of how this league is different than the rest. Points add up in a variety of ways, but we've learned that winning with your own team is most important.
Those all-important quarter wins can propel your team up the leaderboard. You get 20 per quarter, 45 for an overall game win. The next biggest part to earn yourself points is game MVP. Others around you take notice when you are doing your job on the field. And then statistically, you do your job on the field by causing turnovers, scoring goals, making a save, but you want to make sure to do so with the least amount of issues. You don't want to make a save for a goalkeeper. You do not want to have a turnover caused. You want to make sure that you're doing your job with little error.
Both teams in very good spirits. An 80-degree day here, about 30 miles north of Washington, D.C. When it all began 5 weeks ago, we had 58 of the best players on the planet. The captains would draft them into 4 unique teams where every play and every quarter matters in an effort to crown one champion, something we will do tomorrow night with the closing ceremonies as we prepare for Team Ohlmiller and Team Waters. This is Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse, a place where the athletes unlock their unlimited potential. They want to inspire excellence and community. And this group in orange, when I watched them work out during the week of practice, it sure looked like they would give Kylie Ohlmiller's team a difficult run. They have Mira Shane in the cage. Mira, you sang a cappella at Michigan. What's your victory song going to be today if you get the W?
Listen, I think it's just going to be me constantly embracing these people and singing them a victory song, giving a lot of high fives and just a lot of smiles. These people are unbelievable. They make the league go around.
I figured you might go with Hail to the Victor. Mira, best of luck.
Go Blue, and thank you so much, Joe.
At the other end, Kaylee Waters starts. Kaylee and Haley, half of that is Haley Hicklin on the bench to start things. Haley, how does your team bounce back from yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, you know, today's a new day. We battled hard yesterday and came up off just short. So, you know, today's our day to come out hard and ready to go play for and with each other, and that's how we're going to come out on top.
We thank you, as always, for the insight, Haley. Appreciate it. She looks up to Kaylee Waters in that goal circle today. Kaylee, among the overall leaders, among the top 4 on the Geico overall leaderboard. When play began this weekend, she was seeded number 2. Taylor Cummings earlier today, her team prevailed 8-4 over Team Katie Glynn. It was Sam Apuzza with a 3-goal, 2-assist effort to set the pace as Cummings lengthens her lead in an effort to win the gold medal come tomorrow night. Waters on the end line just ran out of real estate as we get going. It's time to clear for the team in orange.
Joe, that draw control was a battle all the way back to the keeper. Kaylee Waters, not often that you see a goalkeeper coming up with a draw control one, but she ultimately was able to gain possession before being pushed out of bounds, which was the call, which is why the ball went to her team in orange.
These two squads playing beneath an extremely bright sun here at Maureen Hendricks Field. Levy turns a corner and shovels that one over her shoulder and wide. Backed up on the end line by Alex Ost. Opening minute of game number 28 of 30 this season. Warden on the roll. Hedged there by Peros. Peros, a big mover and shaker on the leaderboard. She jumped 16 places on the leaderboard after last weekend's performance. Kenzie Kent for Ost. Ost's drive, and it's stopped by Mira Shane, who was excellent yesterday with 8 stops against Team Cummings.
As they clear the ball up the field, so important to let the ball do the work as opposed to any one player running it. The ball moves much faster than a player running it, and that way you're able to capitalize on the 60-second shot clock. You have more time offensively, which is key in this league.
6-on-6 at this end of the field for Katrina Dowd as she works back behind the cage, shadowed by Amber McKenzie. Amber and Katrina, both members of the Player Executive Committee. Athletes are the leaders and decision makers in Athletes Unlimited. Bounce shot on the way, fought off by Waters. It rattles around and out as Allie Kennedy is always interested in getting closer and closer inside that 8-meter key. Look out, Taryn Banthoff. She plays it on for Kent with a good speed. Kenzie whirling away from her check, Emily Peros. Johansson thinking about the 2. Off the hitch move, she gets inside. Kenzie Kent, the leading assist player in Athletes Unlimited. Getting downhill on Rudkin. Great move, and she sent it wide after a dazzling move, lost 16 in the purple. Just a little bit more than halfway through the 60-second shot clock in Athletes Unlimited. We play the game 10-on-10. The goals are 80 yards apart. The officials today, Erica Leslie, Peggy Salucci, Liz Brush, and Kathy Russo. Ost will reload for the team in orange with a fresh 60. Playing catch with Haley Warden. Warden, the former James Madison standout. Levy waits. She's the 2-point threat for this squad from behind the 8-meter key.
Nicole is so slick with her stick offensively. She's able to maneuver. A lot of times it's about the fancy footwork, which obviously she has as well, but her ability to make plays from faking the defensive player out by moving her stick high, low. A lot of control that she has.
Throughout the day, top of the screen, if you're new to Athletes Unlimited, we'll be sharing with you how the points rack up from an individual stat standpoint. McMahon had a 4-goal game last weekend. Kennedy fires, she scores! Allie Kennedy from the outside.
Allie Kennedy was the first draft pick this week, week 5, taken by her captain, Kylie Ohlmiller, the both of them playing together at Stony Brook. Joe, you and I both got that one wrong, but it has proven effective for Kylie Ohlmiller.
Boy, thanks for pointing that out. Kennedy, goals in 9 straight with her speed and her dexterity. One to watch on Athletes Unlimited. Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse is sponsored by Guaranteed Rate. If you believe it, you can do it. No shortage of camaraderie out on the field yesterday. Team Ohlmiller falling to Team Cummings on a Friday night. Nicole Levy again stretching the defense with her long-range shooting. If you're just tuning in with us today, we're nearly 4 minutes into the opening quarter, and Kylie Ohlmiller's squad has a goal from Allie Kennedy and the 1-0 advantage. Joe Beninati, Courtney Martinez, Connor, shouting out thanks to our presenting field partners, the good people at Geico, for their help throughout the season. All of a sudden, weekend number 5, game number 28. After today, Court, just 2 more in an effort to crown a champion tomorrow. To the draw circle we go. Lindsay McCone and Haley Warden meeting there. McCone taking a relay from Peros with a ball down on the deck, and it belongs to Sammy Jo Tracy. Sammy Jo, who spent about 4 hours shooting with her dad to get ready for this season 4 times a week. Busy in preparation to play against the world's best.
Jo Lacrosse runs in her family. Obviously, her dad played at Maryland. Her brother played collegiately as well.
Brilliant passing and a better finish from Peros. Ohlmiller went behind the back and Peros went top corner.
When you look at the things that were lacking yesterday from Team Ohlmiller, it was moving the ball quickly. They had a lot of isolation plays. That's when Kylie literally put the team on her back. But right here, we see Kylie drawing 2 defensive players. That's what enabled Emily Peros to pop into space as both defenders slid to Kylie. A nice little behind the back feed, which, yes, she's a flashy player, but that was the right pass to make in order to hit that open teammate. And then Emily Peros doing her job right around the crease, nice and tight. As soon as she catches that, she got rid of it quickly before any defensive players could slide.
Emily from Delaware County, the pride of Delco, 387 points in week 4, really moved her up the leaderboard. The 2 tallies for Team Ohlmiller, 34 seconds apart. Each team, when you win a quarter, everybody on the roster picks up 20 points. 45 overall when you win the game, as Johansson screams out, ow, she got hit near the face. Possession belongs to Team Waters in the orange. Levy picked up on the perimeter by Katie Hirsch. Hirsch's footwork is fantastic defensively. We watched her throughout the week in practice, and it's a treat to watch.
She sits low. She gets her arms up and away. You're entitled to your space defensively, and so you want to make sure to take it. And very rarely do you see her arms come into her body, which gives the advantage to the attacker.
She's pursuing a lot of community work and real estate ventures lately. Kent tries to pick it up off the ground, chased there by Rudkin. Kenzie Kent gets underneath her defender. McCone comes to help. Kenzie Kent off the roll finds Levy. 8 seconds to shoot. Levy off the split dodge picked up by Hirsch. Tries to jump over top, then looks for Kent. That's deflected. Garrett didn't come up with it, and this is a shot clock violation against Team Waters. 2.5 to play. A rapidly played first quarter with Meg Dowdy in control. Dowdy, who missed some time earlier this season due to injury. This is an Ohlmiller squad without Dempsey Arsenault. Arsenault, who began the week in the top 6 on the overall leaderboard despite missing play last week, and she will not compete in week 5. Shane with a length of the field distribution that gets away from Sammy Jo Tracy. It belongs to Kaylee Waters. We get the timeout on the field. A 2-0 advantage for Ohlmiller's troops. Goals from Kennedy and Peros. Folks, we want to get you even closer to the game. Join the Unlimited Club for free. Download the Athletes Unlimited app today. You'll be receiving all the latest news and updates into the palm of your hand. Stream digital games, unlock special access, and much more. You're invited to upgrade, too. Upgrade that membership to a whole year of behind-the-scenes access for all the Athletes Unlimited seasons. Join the players in voting for game MVPs and the end-of-season awards. Visit AUProsports.com to learn more. That's AUProsports.com. Season 2 of softball begins a week from today. We're enjoying the inaugural season of Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse. And folks, you can own a piece of this Athletes Unlimited history with the first ever Topps trading card set for professional women's lacrosse. The limited edition set features all the athletes, plus additional cards about the league and randomly inserted serial numbered parallels, including player autographs and Nike Golden tickets. These sets are available now through August 27th at Topps.com. That's TOPPS.com. Kaylee Waters' side breaking the huddle. Likewise for Mira Shane and her mates. If you're just tuning in, the team in purple has the 2-0 advantage.
You know, we're seeing some lower scores in these games as the season progresses. Defenses have figured out offensively what the tendencies that each of these attackers and midfielders have. It makes it more difficult to score when there's a good scout on the opposing offense.
As Waters makes her way back to the goal circle. With regard to Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse, these are the players who have fashioned more than 100 points in a single game. Taylor Cummings has done it 10 times.
Joe, that's hard to do considering the fact that early on in the season she was not necessarily on a winning team. She got most of her win points later in the season as she started to become a captain.
Kaylee Waters in the cage for the Orange team began the week 85 points behind Cummings. That lead has been lengthened by Taylor, with her team winning a couple of games already. They've got their feet up, they're resting after an 8-4 win over Team Glenn earlier in the day. Wakefield brings it ahead. Wakefield, very boisterous defender for Kaylee Waters' side. As we hear a whistle, the restart for Molly Garrett.
That's going to be a shot clock reset. Anytime there's an offsides call, the offense gets the ball for another full 60, so that's a big advantage offensively.
Kenzie Kent there with a backdoor cut that didn't really fool Rudkin. Rudkin bumps her towards the end line. Kent with a great stopping and starting ability. Tried to feed Aust. She was blocked away. Alex comes up with a ground ball scoop. Give her 2 points for that. Levy outside the key. Aust tries to tuck it in. Shut down there. That rattled around the frame. Mira Shane popping up out of her goalie stance. 75 seconds with which to work in the opening quarter. Johansson is a threat from deep. She had a two-point game last weekend. She rolls inside. Off the split dodge. Stabbed again by Shane. Mira earns another 6 points for that stop.
We've seen both Mira Shane and Kaylee Waters go the distance in the goal, playing all 24 minutes last night. As the players on the field, fatigue can begin to set in with back-to-back games.
Been telling you about leaderboard points. Team win points, individual stat points. Someone like Mira Shane had 325 collectively last week, and that was her best week of the season. Kennedy zips that one wide. Ducking away from it was Katrina Dowd, who will reload off the end line. 22 seconds to shoot, 24 in the quarter. Dowd stopping and starting. Magnificent stick handler for Izzy McMahon. Off the feed, shovel and score! To the roof for Emily Peros.
Emily Peros, such a hard worker on the field. She did not score a goal in Team Ohlmiller's first game. However, she was able to do the dirty work with lots of ground balls and draw controls. That is not the story that we're seeing today. Already in this first quarter, she has 2 goals. She is timing her cuts well. Her head is up. She's asking for the ball, and she's quick and ready to get rid of it. And that's key when you have defensive players coming and crashing all around you.
As a player, Emily has won at every level. She mentioned to us before the start of the season, now that she's with Jenny Levy's coaching staff, her goal is to win as a coach. She wants desperately to taste what that national championship would be at the Division I level. Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse, just part of the momentum that was gained off of an incredible women's season at the NCAA level with the Boston College Eagles prevailing. Kent going to the goal. Speaking of Eagles, she converts.
Joe, that was a quick answer back off of Team Ohlmiller's goal. There wasn't much time on the clock. and now they have an additional 8 seconds. They could do another repeat right from the draw. But we see Lindsay McCone, her teammate, battling ultimately Team O'Donnell, or Team Waters coming up with that ground ball. Amanda Johansson getting it into the capable hands of Kenzie Kent. Her one-handed face dodge. Again, we talk about her strength. Oftentimes we say it comes from her ability in ice hockey. She just feels so comfortable. I think she's more comfortable with her stick in one hand than what it is in two.
She played so many sports growing up as a child. She said her schedule was non-stop, 7 days a week. Kenzie Kent delivering the tally that puts an end to a 3-point run for Team Ohlmiller. There is a challenge. The officials at the table. Liz Brush wears number 12 as she's ready to look at the tablet. This coming with a little bit less than 10 seconds remaining in the opening quarter. Kenzie Kent, mercurial player. I mean, you watch her, she's bouncing all over the place. She has such ability to twist, turn, and cut. Has to be a nightmare for a defender.
Well, and we've seen her tiptoe around the crease multiple times before. That's what's being challenged at this point, whether or not her feet stepped on that circle line. We see she got rid of the ball, but then went into the crease. So the referees are going to look to see if she was pushed into the crease.
Each team has a sideline facilitator. For Team Waters, it's Lauren Kahn. For Team Ohlmiller, this week it's Shanta Lecker. They help the captains out a lot of the times on questionable plays such as these. The Kenzie Kent goal on her way down seemed to be outside of the goal circle when she let the ball fly.
I would agree with you on that one. Again, the fast break from the draw control. She released the shot, but that follow through into the crease is what they're keeping an eye on, whether or not she was pushed. Clearly both feet are outside of the crease on the shot, initial shot.
I'll tell you. Yeah.
Shanta Lecker now. Sharing a word with Liz Brush as the official makes her explanation. This one will count. Kenzie Kent on the board again. Kenzie, who has scored now in 7 of her last 8. The first to dent the twine on Mira Shane today.
Joe, as you had mentioned, that all-important facilitator position, it's important when you're on the field that you have somebody battling on your behalf when you're a captain, playing every minute of every game.
There will be a lot of congratulations doled out tomorrow in the closing ceremonies to these tremendous athletes, to all the officials. And do not forget those facilitators, many of whom have been with us throughout the 5-week run. It is a 3-1 advantage for Team Ohlmiller after 8 minutes, tearing it up. Done with one in game 2 this Saturday afternoon. Team O'Miller has a 2-point advantage over Team Waters 8 minutes into the contest. Fans, it's time for you to earn points for watching today's telecast. Take out your phone, enter the code on the screen into your Athletes Unlimited app to earn points. If you don't have the Athletes Unlimited app, head over to the Apple App Store or Google Play Store. That's where you can start earning points to unlock exclusive rewards and stay in the know about all things Athletes Unlimited. Folks enjoying the sun today here at the Maureen Hendricks Field at the Maryland Soccerplex. As we've played a quarter, we have watched Mira Shane perform admirably between the pipes, making a few more saves today, Court.
Mira Shane, what a personality. She does such a great job. She said she plays for those around her. She's really picked up her game in the second half of this season. We see her holding her position, really exploding to the ball. We talked with her earlier and she said it's about her teammates, and you can obviously see that in her play.
At Michigan in Ann Arbor, the career leader in saves, save percentage. She is working and has worked with the Wolverine goalies in a coaching capacity. Such a warm personality, very friendly, bubbly, and about to give us a few words of instruction if we can get under the helmet with Mira. Mira, if I'm not mistaken, recently you spent some time in the TV truck, so I'm going to ask you to be an analyst. How would you describe your first 8 minutes?
My first 8 minutes?
Yes, your first 8 minutes.
I want to talk about my defense's first 8 minutes.
Of course you do.
Absolutely fantastic. Textbook defense. We're all talking, we're all vibing off of each other, and they are making it easy on me today to make that save on these angles. So I'm just really appreciative of them in front of me.
Mira, going into today's game, what was the focus you guys talked about as a team?
Well, first of all, we were like, we need some strategy after yesterday. Kylie implemented it with our facilitator, Shanta, told us the game plan. We just had some switch-ups on the draw, had Lindsay on it, and everybody just knew they needed to bring a new energy and kind of forget about yesterday and make it a new day. So that's what we're doing out here.
Mira, you're such a fibber. You know it's supposed to be all about me, 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 me.
I can't do that when I got great teammates out here every weekend.
Well done.
Thank you.
Best of luck in the second quarter, soon to unfold. A 3-1 lead for Team O'Miller.
Joe, every single person who we speak to, it's all about deflecting. They don't want to talk about themselves. It's still a team sport, despite the fact that there's individual winners. Love it.
Sammy Jo Tracy tried to float that one behind her back. She lost control of it. Kaylee Waters on the take back with Ella Simpkins. Simpkins in the running for best defensive player of this season. We are in week 5. We crown a champion tomorrow. Just one single champion of the 58 players that have been in residence with Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse. Bottom of the hour time. Joe and Court with you. A tip of the cap to all the men and women in our technical crew for all their efforts throughout the early morning and day today, and for all of the hard work throughout this season. One more day on site here at Hendricks Field at the Maryland Soccerplex. Warden off the sweep, gets inside. Warden finds room, did not elect to shoot. Kenzie Kent takes the handoff, overplayed there by Rudkin, who forces her back behind the goal. Kenzie Kent floats it. Johansson thinks 2, stopped easily by Shane.
I like the fact that the offense, after their initial opportunities are shut down, that their last look is a 2-point. Rather than feeding it inside, why not go for the home run, a possible 2-point shot, the end of each possession as the clock winds down. You can tell that each team truly is thinking about what strategy. Mira talked about it for her team.
O'Miller off of a second dodge, she scores.
Right as we talk about transitioning from defense to offense, working the ball up the field as a team, it's what you want to see in transition. Get it into an attacking hand as quick as you can from one end of the field to the other. Kylie has an ability to separate from her defensive players. She throws in a bunch of stutters. She wants to get her on her heels. And as she does that, a quick roll while she's changing hand. Again, it's that weak hand for her. As a righty, she's a dominant lefty, but she has shown time and time again that if you're going to overplay my left side, I'm going to take what opportunities you're giving me and capitalize on them. That quick roll certainly sustained that.
that right wrist is bandaged for Kylie Ohlmiller, and you saw in the follow-through of her own shot, she appeared to sting her right hand. Nonetheless, another goal on the board for a player who's among the top 7 in goals this season. 4 of the 5 points on the board belong to the team in purple. Taryn Vanthop on the run. Kenzie Kent carving right to the cage. She scores. Kenzie Kent wasting no time for her second on the day.
Kenzie Kent showing her speed and athleticism. She does such a great job of moving into open space. The more area you have, the more likely you're able to showcase your speed. Straight from the draw control. Coming up with the ball, Taryn Vantoff, getting it into the capable hands of Kenzie Kent. We saw that little look-off right there. That's what froze the defensive players as she's running. That slight hesitation as she dodged by Meg Dowdy, who had her feet broken down. She thought she was going to be ready to pass that ball. Ultimately, she dodged through, continuing her dodge off of that look away. Very impressive by Kenzie Kent as we watch her.
She can moonwalk, too. That's really impressive. Kenzie Kent last weekend was unusual with just 2 assists, 6 goals on her plate. She has the 2 today, the only 2 on the board for Kaylee Waters. 6 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the half. Temperatures in the mid-80s, a sun-baked day. This final cemented lacrosse season. McCone, such a worker bee. She comes up with that draw control from her knees. Sammy Jo Tracy had the ball there for a moment, 13 in purple. Court, you'll love this, as this pass is too tall for Kennedy. We were talking with Sammy Jo at practice, and she said, you know what? Everybody wants me to shoot it normal. I haven't scored in a while. It's all going to be behind the back breakers around the world this weekend, so I can't wait till she gets her first chance.
I'm not surprised. She does so many things with her stick. It takes countless hours. We always see her practicing her shooting, but her stick work, it's something she's done since high school. I don't think she often shoots regular.
You were trying to pepper me with those backbreaker shots a couple days ago. Sammy Jo's an expert at it. I don't want any part of that.
I mean, we were standing, and she does it full speed on the run. So impressive.
Incredible. Warden from outside the 8-meter key. Back behind the goal now with Emily Peros, who has a couple of tallies today. Warden with 20 seconds to shoot. Around for Levy. Levy not afraid to shoot it from far away. Beats Bonani there and scores! Mary Kate Bonani got rubbed off on a pick, and she's slow to get back up. Levy's back on the board.
A little 2-man work by Team Waters, utilizing the pick. That's how they got a step on their defensive players. As we rewatch this, you're going to see a little bit of movement offensively creates opportunities for you on the field. And Nicole Levy, she does such a great job of winding up on the field, celebrating with teammates, closing the gap.
At the start of a journey, it's impossible to know exactly where it will take you, but you can stop for a moment to mark the beginning.
Can't wait for the start of a new softball season. Season number 2 with Athletes Unlimited. 60 of the best on the planet. We'll lace them up.
When you say the best on the planet, you're talking about Kat Osterman, Jessica Warren, Victoria Hayward, Erica Piancastelli, all of these players just playing in the Olympics for their respective countries.
Haley McClenny was the Defensive Player of the Year for softball in the inaugural campaign. Players who can go and get them. Ground balls and chase it down in the outfield. Speaking of someone who'd be pretty good at center field, that's Allie Kennedy with the ground that she can cover. Handing it off to her fellow Seawolf there. That's Kylie Ohlmiller. Kylie's bunch on top by 1 at the moment. McCone working around a screen. We have 4:40 to play in the opening half. Ohlmiller isolated, trading her off to McKenzie. Nice catch by Kennedy and a better save there by Waters. The keeper kneeling at the near post.
Kylie and Kennedy, both of them playing so well together with the two-man game, oftentimes that comes through a lot of practice. While there's not much practice in this league, those two have played together for a long time.
Sammy Joe made an over-the-head check there that D-sticked to Amber McKenzie, but number 1 in the orange is going to reload for her side. 4 times an All-American in North Carolina, class of '09. She says, what, the downstairs basement is part workout room and part playroom.
When you're a mom in this league, it's not just about being the best athlete. She has a lot of fun having her sons watch her, see that mom can do it too out on the field.
Husband Norval gets back to work soon too, right? With Vanderbilt, SEC football. He's a running backs coach. Kennedy races along and finds Sammy Joe Tracy. Keeps it hot for Dowd. Katrina lurking around that cage. The inside feed, too tall for Sammy Joe. Waters, as she likes to do, comes bolting out of that circle, and we hear the whistle. I'm telling you, there's a midfielder trapped underneath that goalie mask with Kaylee Waters. She just wants to go full field.
The best goalkeepers love to play on the field. Show their athleticism, show their stick work. You're not just a goalie to save the ball. Obviously, that's your number 1 job, but the better your stick is, the better job you're able to do in the cage, especially when you're under pressure in the ride.
Kenzie Kent hanging out on the perimeter, finds Warden over the top. Warden off the split dodge, coming back to her left. Lets it go. Shane made the save. Mira Shane another 6 points. Remember, there are 20 points on the line for the score in this quarter. Peros is racing ahead. She's got the 4-on-3. Nice look. Dowd fires. Better stop there by a kneeling Waters again. Kaylee's locked in.
That's a second save that she has made for Katrina Dowd. Katrina holds her stick up high to bait that goalkeeper and then snaps it low, but I think Kaylee has done a great job in the scout saying, okay, I know what Katrina's going to do. She's going to fake me high and pop it low.
3 saves for Waters, 6 for Shane. Dowd turns a corner and scores with a little changeup. Katrina Dowd.
Katrina's nickname in college when she had her career at Northwestern was Trixie. She can razzle-dazzle with her stick, but ultimately it was her patience for this last goal. She's had 14 this season. We see she has her defensive player tied up a bit. Even with the sliding defender, she's able to slice and dice between the defensive players. Again, maintaining possession, maneuvering her stick around those swinging sticks that are coming. And just like you mentioned, that changeup shot. So when you're in tight, it's not all about power, it's about placement.
How easy did she make that as she foiled the defensive work of both Wakefield and Maddie Hall? And from goal cam, you see the soft touch provided. Katrina Dowd, you called her Trixie, right? Last 2 years in school at Northwestern, 75 and 77 goals, that's all. That's the reason you're smiling. Folks, you can join us tomorrow at Maureen Hendricks Field at the Maryland Soccerplex. It's game day. It's the final game day. Tickets are still available at auprosports.com/tickets/lacrosse. Playing in front of friends and family and special guests today are we, Ohlmiller and Waters. Two of the captains trying to chase down Taylor Cummings and Katie Glynn. Cummings earlier today, an 8-4 victor over Glynn. Sam Apuzzo was the driving force in that one with 3 goals and 2 assists. Kylie getting a little touch up on her makeup there as Mira Shane makes her way back to the circle. Mira, a busy cat. On the in-game leaderboard presented by Geico, Kaylee Waters still commands the second position.
And the only way to upend that during the game is about statistically getting yourself ahead and winning quarter points. Right now, this quarter is at 2, tied 2-2. And your team can move up quickly if they walk away with that next set of 20, whether you're wearing the orange or the purple jersey.
Courtney, you and I and all of our crew, we've had fun following this league. No set teams, right? The fans get to follow their favorite players. Week after week, we've been drafting new teams. We huddled up over the Monday draft, and the first inspection, we thought it might be Team Cummings and Team Waters. Those are the teams that'll bring the curtain down on the season tomorrow. When we will crown a champion, we will hand out a Defensive Player of the Year, name 4 medalists. Levy's made a great run up the leaderboard in the last 3 weeks. Johansson may have been more a factor on the leaderboard had she been able to play in the first couple of weeks. 7 in orange was missing with a bad ankle. Late in the half, Kent working against Rudkin. 2 very quick players, tremendously fast. Levy bluffed it for 2. McCone digging in defensively. Levy turns all the way, she scores! Great effort there by Nicole Levy.
Nicole Levy, with a little bit more than 1:30 left in the quarter, has just given the lead to Team Waters. You saw she was coming around the goal cage, the contact that was made. Athletes Unlimited, it's more physical than the NCAA game that many fans are used to. As she catches her defensive player coming around the wrong side of the goal cage, she's able to maintain composure, get a shot off before the defensive player gets to her. She's hugging that crease and making sure not to step on it. And we see she releases it before the defensive player comes. Nevertheless, there's still contact, goggles flying, such control as she came around the backside of the cage.
Courtney, that second look, she smashed down her head on the field there and still bounced right back up. Shaking it off with a laugh and a giggle. Nicole Levy's goal total up to 18. Think about it. Last week, she led Team Cummings in scoring. That's no easy assignment there.
As the weeks have gone on, she's done better and better. I'd say she didn't have as much playing time in week 1, and then they noticed we've got to get her on the field.
Dowd, nice pass. Inside there, Sammy Jo Tracy. She pots the fast break.
Joe, that was a normal shot by Sammy Jo Tracy. I do expect for her to come out with some flash on her next shot. But straight from the draw control, Team Ohlmiller using their speed, getting into position, letting the ball do the work. Lindsay McCone, quick draw to teammate Emily Paris into the hands of Katrina Dowd. She drew both of those defenders. Sammy Jo Tracy wide open down low. The cross crease slide didn't quite make it to her in time. And we see that fake before shooting on a keeper. That's how you freeze her, right? It's how you make her jump before you place it to a different spot.
Goals there just 8 seconds apart. Courtney, I need you to tell us a little bit about the heroes of Sammy Jo Tracy. She mentioned players like Jen Adams and Dana Doby. Describe their styles of play.
Both of them wizards with their sticks. You know, the fact that she grew up idolizing them, such great role models, but lacrosse players. And that's really the style of her play that we see on the field. Dana Doby shoots between the legs. Sammy Jo Tracy shoots between the legs. So it's oftentimes that you adapt to those around you.
Simpkins scampering in, was trail checked as she pulled the trigger. There are 20 points on the line when you win the quarter for everybody on the roster. Levy fidgets loose. Levy matched up with Hirsch, who keeps her at arm's length. It was a 3-1 win of the quarter for Ohlmiller in the first. We stand now 6-4. If it's tied in the individual quarter, those 20 carry over. The next frame's worth 40. Kent pitches for Aust. Inside looking to Johansson. 16 seconds to shoot, 40 in the quarter, and back comes Ohlmiller in purple as it's Hirsch leading the rush. Peros so quick to accelerate. Peros on the feed. Kennedy snakes in and fires right to the chest protector of Waters. Back and forth we go. Final 24 seconds of the quarter. Johansson stretching her legs. Levy's next. Lets it fly off the outside of the cage. Backed up by Kent, 14 seconds remaining. No shot clock here. Kent measured by Rudkin. Kent on the feed, it bounces to Levy. She thought about the two. Kent rolling in on Rudkin, 2 seconds left. And that one just does squirt in. Was it out of the cross in time? There appears to be 0.6 of a second left. And if so, it stands.
That was a tremendous sense of urgency by Team Waters. In the orange jerseys, quick ball movement. Everybody was moving with a purpose. Quick passes, players getting into position, looking for possible options, and Amanda Johansson with her height, her size. Oftentimes if you just lob it up to her, more than likely she's gonna have the reach to be able to bring it down and finish anywhere around that crease.
Have a peek at it at the tail end of the quarter.
Right here, Kenzie Kent, we saw with that amazing feed. The ball is well out of her stick and in the goal before the clock is at 0.
Oh, basically, she just blocked that in. I don't know if it ever made the meshing. But this is off the frame.
Oh, yeah.
And it fooled Mira Shane. It'll count for Johansson.
She didn't have possession at all, but you don't need possession in order to redirect, and that's definitely what threw Mira Shane off. Just a little redirect by her stick. Again, she wasn't able to catch it in any sense, not even a quick stick.
Amanda Johansson, who helped USC, the women of Troy, to their first ever NCAA appearance. As the first half comes to its conclusion, a 6-5 lead for Ohlmiller. 3 more points for them in the second, but that late strike from Waters wins the 20 points for the team in orange. The late goal from Johansson giving that group 20 win points total. Back and forth kind of game. Each team wasting little time responding, and the offense heating up in that second quarter.
Each of the teams pushing the fast break. That's what's proved for each of them to be successful. In settled situations, it's been a little bit more difficult to score, but in the fast break, defense isn't set. They're catching them by surprise.
Alrighty, before she puts her feet up for a little while, Kylie Ohlmiller will do some work with us. And Kylie, what was the difference in that first 16 minutes?
I think we just woke up a little bit from yesterday. We took the things that we did great yesterday and we brought it into today. We're pushing a little bit more transition and using our legs and our midi ability. So I think that was the difference in the first 2 quarters here today from last night.
Kylie, how hard was it to go from a game last night to then this afternoon? Your body's end of the season is nearing.
I think we're getting used to that kind of scheduling, Friday night, Saturday to Sunday. We actually had the lucky schedule with the 5 p.m. and then the later game today. I know the 8 o'clock, then the 12 o'clock. So we're getting used to it a little bit but here by week 5, and I know everybody's bodies are feeling it, but we're just out there competing because that's what we love to do.
Kylie, safety first. Thanks for keeping the goggles on for us.
Yeah, if I take it off, I'll get the eye black everywhere, so I got to keep it on.
I hate it when that happens.
Yeah, right?
I hate it when that happens. Thank you, Kylie. We appreciate it.
Thanks, you guys.
6-5 for Ohlmiller as those in purple try to find some shade. We're tearing it up. Emily Peros was one of the shooting stars in the first half today. Mira Shane's grooving and making saves in her goal circle. When you have Molly Garrett in a good mood bearing down on you, you better be ready. And Katrina Dowd and her friends on Team Ohlmiller have the advantage. 16 minutes into the contest, a 6-5 lead after 2 quarters. These players were asked to talk about self-belief, a time of reflection, how it affected their career. Let's eavesdrop on Amber Hill.
Traditionally, in my culture, some believe that women shouldn't be able to play lacrosse. Some believe that it will make you barren, and there's also additional beliefs with that. And in 2007, when I competed in the U19 World Cup in Oshawa, I was 14 weeks pregnant with my daughter, and I fell playing Team Japan, and I tore my placenta. But I had to go to the hospital, and she had a strong heartbeat, and I really had to dig deep with that because I really thought Creator was trying to give me a message, and I was scared I was going to lose my baby. So, but now she's 6'1" and 265, and she makes me look really tiny. Very healthy. She still plays lacrosse. It's great. But that was a very trying time where I really had to dig deep and believe in my passion and what I came here for to play this game.
Member of the Haudenosaunee Nation, Amber Hill, it was great to see her daughter Jordan around practice earlier this week. She's a chip off the old block, really good looking goalie for the future. Mama Bear with her mates on the hill getting some shadow after 2 quarters of play today. We'll get you back for more in just a few moments. Courtney rejoins me. It'll be time for highlights on Athletes Unlimited. great day in the sun for Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse here at Maureen Hendricks Field at the Maryland Soccerplex. 2 quarters complete. Just chilling out. 6'5" Team Ohlmiller has had enough of the sun. You've had enough of the strange bugs that are flying through this booth. You were pretty quick.
I still got it.
Thankfully, nobody saw that on camera except everybody in the truck, which will make the outtake reel. Mama always said accentuate the positive. How can these two teams be better in the third and fourth quarter?
You know, I think Team Waters could battle a little bit better at the draw control. And then on the flip side, making the most of their offensive possessions for Team Ohlmiller. You know, I think both teams are doing very well. They're scoring, they're seeing, but they're not quite finishing each of their plays.
It wasn't the bumblebee that scared the bejesus out of me. It was her reaction. Let's get to the highlights. Somebody keep an eye on Allie Kennedy.
Allie Kennedy, she does such a great job of waiting for her time. The perfect time to cut is everything, and as Izzy McMahon has all eyes on her, that opens up a lane for Allie Kennedy right there to pop into it. And then the two players working together in the two-man game, Kylie Ohlmiller with a nice little behind the back to Emily Peros, catching, turning, and firing all in one.
That's a whole lot of hand-eye coordination right there.
And then Izzy McMahon, her eyes are up. She's drawing that double team. It's because she has the ability to score as well. But then you see Kenzie Kent turning things on with her one-handed moves. Kylie Ohlmiller, captain, making sure that she's doing her job on the field, which we see her continuing to battle for her team. Fast break goals are something that we are seeing over and over this game, one right after the other. But then Nicole Levy, you cannot leave her with too much time and space.
These two teams are the masters of quick responses. Katrina Dowd showing off her fancy stick work.
And then Nicole Levy, yet again, she does not shy away from contact. Fast break goal, Sammy Jo Tracy getting herself on the board. And then this one, that little redirect, miscue, confused Mira Shane in goal. I guarantee if it would have been a catch and finish, she would have made the save.
They don't ask how, Amanda, just how many. It's a 6-5 lead for Ohlmiller after 2 quarters of work, despite being outshot by Team Waters.
That's right, both teams even with 5 saves. Turnovers have plagued both teams a little bit. I think they've calmed down in that second quarter. But when you have the ball, you need to make sure you're finishing your opportunities. Both of them are shooting a decent amount, but expect for that to improve in this third and fourth quarter.
Top of the hour time. Let's see who's top of the Geico leaderboard. Guess who? It's Taylor Cummings. Almost 1,900 points. Kaylee Waters is just outlasting Sam Apuzzo for second and third. The top 4 get medals tomorrow.
Everyone in orange and purple is going to continue to move up as the game progresses. Kaylee Waters has the ability to make a lot of saves, so I do expect that if her team gets quarter points in addition to her saves, she will continue to move up.
5 weekends of leaderboard shuffling. It all comes to an end tomorrow. In the meantime, we get you set for the third quarter after these words.
impossible? Ha! Watch me. That word is not in my vocabulary. Welcome to my mentality, where I will show you freedom, recognition, for every athlete, every woman, for my team, for me. Say my name because I am the best at what I do. The All-American, the Olympian. My craft is my free expression, where I compete to win. I stand for racial equality, gender equality, income equality, as a guaranteed, tangible reality. Welcome to where I play, where I am free.
That piece encapsulates all that is Athletes Unlimited. Softball, volleyball, and now lacrosse. Saturday coming to a conclusion. We have 2 quarters left in it. Ole Miller has a 6-5 advantage over Team Waters. It's been fun watching Mira Shane work in goal today. Last couple of games, in fact, she has been on best behavior. Athlete causes allow the athletes to play their season in part for the benefit of the nonprofit organization of their choice. Let's learn more about Mira Shane.
Hi, my name is Mira Shane, and I'm playing for the Black Heart Association. I think the reason why this organization really speaks to me and hits me in my heart coincidentally is because I just lost my uncle to a heart condition and also to cancer. Within the Black community, 46% of Black men suffer from cardiovascular disease on an annual basis. So that's why I'm playing for Black Heart Association. And of course, you know, I would have loved for him to see my first pro debut, but I'm gonna make it rain for my dude. It's gonna be awesome.
Wonderful work, Mira. You've done everyone proud. Mira Shane played collegiately at Michigan, played the first half today, is busy warming up her understudy, Amber Hill, and we understand that we have threatening weather in the vicinity, and that we are in a weather delay. They're going to ask the players, including both of those keepers, and Kenzie Kent and her mates, to vacate the field at Maureen Hendricks Field at the Maryland Soccerplex. We are going to be in a weather delay with a score 6-5 for Team Ole Miller.
As we see those two walking off the field, Amber Hill, Mira Shane, done such a great job together yesterday. Mira Shane went the distance, playing all 4 quarters. However, it looks like Amber Hill was about ready to get her debut on the day.
Amber giving a hug to Kaylee Waters. Waters, who finds herself prominently on the Geico overall leaderboard, trying to chase down Taylor Cummings, who earlier in the day helped her team prevail over Katie Glynn, another of the great netminders in Athletes Unlimited. Kylie Ole Miller striding off. 8-4 was the score for Team Cummings, with Sam Apuzzo, one of the heroes. 6-5 before the start of the third quarter. We'll get you back once we know more. We are in a weather delay. More to come from Maryland. Just about ready to resume play after a 21-minute weather delay here at Maureen Hendricks Field at the Maryland Soccerplex. This complex, built by Discovery Communications Chairman John Hendricks and his wife Maureen back in 2000. It was renamed after Maureen before a June 2013 soccer match. It's been home to Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse for 5 weekends. This is the last game of 2 on Saturday. Third quarter unfolds. Team Ohlmiller in purple, Team Waters in orange. Just 2 more games tomorrow in the regular season. We'll crown a champion. Closing ceremonies tomorrow night on CBS Sports Network. Haley Warden trying to get to goal against McCone. Stopping and starting halfway through the 60-second shot clock. Levy off the flip. Hirsch is there waiting for her. Levy on the roll dodge. Looks to shovel over the shoulder. She scores! Levy beating Amber Hill. In the third quarter, off to a flying start.
Nicole Levy has tried that shot twice today before being successful on the third attempt. We see right here a pick on ball. That's what gives her a step on Katie Hirsch. Ultimately, it's not a behind the back, just as you had mentioned. It's kind of over her head, a little bit different. That's why the release can be difficult to track. Her body is shielding it, in addition to the defensive players, makes it very hard for the goalie to see the ball coming out of the stick, which is very important for them in making the save.
Another player, Nicole Levy, who has no issues contorting her body to create scoring opportunities. This is one of the smallest players on the field with one of the biggest offensive games. Levy gets the hat trick. She had 2 goals and 2 assists against Kayla Wood's side last weekend. 3 goals on the board, leveling the count at 6 apiece. Kennedy trekking back for Team Ohlmiller in purple. Joe Beninati, Courtney Martinez-Connor with you. Kylie Ohlmiller's squad yesterday trumped by Taylor Cummings' team 13-6. Ohlmiller will face off with Katie Glynn tomorrow at 2 p.m. Quick passing. Sammy Jo Tracy thought about an around-the-world shot there. McCone comes up with a ground ball. Trail checked by Wakefield and by Johansson. That's a turnover back to the team dressed in orange. Ella Simpkins, one of the Defensive Player of the Year finalists, sprinting to midfield. After the weather delay, the sun has peeked through the clouds, baking down on the players right now. Just past the 4:30 hour Eastern time. 2 minutes into the third for Amanda Johansson, who's been a spark plug to whichever team she's been on since she's returned off the injured list. Kenzie Kent measured once more by Rudkin. Rudkin has drawn that assignment throughout, speed against speed. Haley Warden drifting behind the cage, turns and fires, and Hill took the angle away. Amber Hill, who's come on for Mira Shane, sending it back for the team in purple with Kennedy on the run. Peros finds Dowd. She lets it fly and scores! Katrina Dowd.
Team Ohlmiller capitalizing off of the save by Amber Hill. Best defensive plays translate into offense. And that's exactly what occurred for the team in the purple jerseys. Amber Hill, we see right there, coming up with a big save. Starting transition, pushing the ball ahead. Emily Peros finding Katrina Dowd. We see that she had time, room, and space. No defensive players were anywhere near her. That's why she wound up right here. She had space to either dodge in, get a closer angle, but she is a sniper from out far, ultimately choosing to pick her poison right there.
10 years as a coach for Katrina Dowd. Over 300 points last weekend. It was her best combined score of any weekend in Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse. She has the 2 today. She scored on 4 of 6 shots last weekend. Does not need a lot of room to convert. Inside the draw circle, official Liz Brush gets them lined up. Taryn Vanthoff was there with McCone. The ball belongs to Simpkins. Simpkins racing to the cage. Ella, the only defender to score 2 goals this season in Athletes Unlimited. 2.5 gone by in the third quarter after a 21-minute rain delay. Sun back out, temperatures in the mid-80s. It's sticky, it's humid. It has been the whole season long in this month of August. Players grinding it out. 3 games every weekend. 15 games on their mantle when it's all said and done. Kent, bothered once more by Rudkin, went for the over-the-head check and forced that turnover. Fine check by 16 Purple. Defensive play there, possibly.
Joe, sometimes when you let that attacker get a step, you're doing so on purpose to get the trail check.
Bounce shot goes wide, backed up, quick stick to the interior. Ohlmiller will peel away with 40 seconds left on the 60-second shot clock. 6-on-6 at this end of the field. The 2 cages are 80 yards apart. We play 10-on-10. Roster sizes 14 or 15. 58 great players in Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse. Just 1 single champion by close of business tomorrow. Ohlmiller dancing in. Wraparound chance there, just flexed wide. Backed up on the end line by Sammy Jo Tracy. She sprints in, draws a couple defenders off the question mark. She sent it wide. It's a sprint to that loose ball. The officials will award the ball to the hard-working keeper and midfielder there, Waters and Johansson, respectively. 7-6 as we're back to work at Maureen Hendricks Field. Kylie Ohlmiller's troops on top. More to come. Two teams have traded tallies in the third quarter. It's definitely the hottest it's been all day. Team Ohlmiller has a 7-6 advantage. After a weather delay, we're back to work at Maureen Hendricks Field. We opened the book of Unlimited in July with Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse. It'll be inscribed with a champion, an inaugural champion, tomorrow.
Joe, a beautiful book. It weighs nearly 25 pounds, 500 pages long. I think these players could use it in their little fitness regimens.
No doubt about that. 500 pages long, 25 pounds, as you can see, the bullet points, bottom of the screen. And we are actively focused upon the Geico leaderboard, which has Taylor Cummings in the top spot. The top 4 will receive medals at the end of the MVP voting after game 30 tomorrow. A couple of keepers still in the top 4 as Simpkins races for cover. Ella Simpkins drags it ahead, matched up with Emily Peros. 3.5 to go in quarter 3. Amanda Johansson tiptoes around the 8-meter key, spots Simpkins, who's going to stay at the offensive end. Amber Hill made the save. Goalie coming out of that circle, getting involved in the ground ball scrum. Taryn Vanthoff with a fresh 60-second shot clock. Levy has a hat trick this afternoon. Levy barreling in, rolls away from Kennedy. Kennedy made the strip. The caused turnover is as good as a goal. That's 12 points for Allie Kennedy when she forces a turnover like that. 3 minutes to play. The score in the third, Courtney, is even at 1-1. 20 points on the line for everybody on the roster of the team that wins this quarter.
Anytime the defense can make a stop, so very important to give their team one more opportunity offensively. As you had mentioned, those 20 points mean a lot, especially for those players at the top of the leaderboard.
Making a stop. The stop was made there by Waters as she's harassed by Katrina Dowd on the ride. Johansson will stretch her legs. Amanda, nearly 6 foot tall, brings it along 6-on-6. Almost halfway through the 60-second shot clock. As far as Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse is concerned, the highest scoring quarter this season, on average, of this now 28 games old, has been the first. This is a layup inside for Taryn Van Thoff.
Two very different styles offensively that we're seeing right now. Team Waters, as they tie things up, they're really spreading the field. When you spread the field, you're able to see cutters a little bit easier. Taryn Van Thoff, number 81 in orange, sneaking around the goal cage, caught her defensive player, staring at the ball. Whenever you see that, you want to put yourself in the best possible position, and she used the crease to her advantage right here. We see again, anytime you fake on a goalkeeper, you get her to bite on the ball. You see net all around her. Nice change of levels on her shot.
Taryn Van Thoff, engaged to her fiance Travis recently, picks up her 5th goal of the season. Better than 1,100 points for Taryn on the campaign. Perhaps they'll be visiting Greece. Taryn says she'll never forget the color of the water there. Her sister Taylor helped with the surprise, I understand. Travis on bended knee near, is it Falls Point in the Baltimore area?
Fells Point. Fells Point. Beautiful place. Right on the water. It's a lot of her Loyola teammates from the past. Taryn, an assistant coach, longtime assistant coach at University of Florida. She met her fiance through lacrosse. They both have a love and passion for the sport.
Taryn Van Thoff, Greyhound at Loyola. Assistant coaching on her resume with the Gators of Florida. She and sister Taylor, some 6 years apart in age. 7-7 for Ohlmiller and Waters. Fans, when you're joining us tomorrow at Maureen Hendricks Field, you can get an exclusive NFT. It's a free Athletes Unlimited digital collectible. All you have to do is be here and scan the QR code. Rolling out a new limited edition NFT tomorrow. Get your tickets at auprosports.com. McCone and Van Thoff to the draw. 7-7 game. We've had just one game this season go past regulation. Kenzie Kent, who wears number 10 in the orange today, provided the only overtime game winner of this campaign. Ball down. They scramble for that draw control. McCone has the scoop. She's got Simpkins right in her face. Ball down again. Snapshot just sent wide. Levy wasting no time pulling the trigger. The score in this third quarter is 2-1 in favor of the team dressed in orange. 20 points on the line in the final 100 seconds of the third. Hirsch looking for reinforcements. Katie had 9 years of college coaching on her resume. Kennedy breezing in. Kennedy splits the double and scores! Too much speed from Allie Kennedy.
Allie Kennedy showing her quickness on the field. She's such a hard worker, but ultimately her speed and athleticism showcased in this last dodge. We see her throw a few stutter steps in, pulling that stick across her face, powering through the defense. Even that next slide right here, she beat the first defender. Off of that second defender, both defenders were the ones who ran into one another, not an offensive foul or charge. That quickness is very tough to contain, especially when your feet aren't moving defensively.
Courtney, just 37 seconds after Vanthof, it's Kennedy's second on the day, leveling the count in the corner at 2 apiece. Old Miller's side back out in front 8-7. Waters' team has never led today. The score has been tied on 2 different occasions. Amanda Johansson waiting for offensive personnel in the person of Haley Warden. Warden, as this season has progressed, her offensive numbers have definitely blossomed. Plus, she leads the league in caused turnovers. Kent, the league's best in assists. On top, Taryn Vanthof off the hitch. Gets to the elbow. On the redodge, gets underneath and squirts that one in. Taryn Vanthof with a very sneaky delivery.
Taryn Vanthof, number 81 for Team Waters. She uses every bit of her height to her advantage. She has long strides. As she dodges, she looks to gain a step each and every time. We see right here, off of that stick check, the ball just rolls in. A bit of an unlucky play. We see Emily Peros, number 5 in purple right there. As Taryn got a step, this trail check ultimately is what put that ball into the back of the goal. A little bit of a miscue defensively, a great check, but nevertheless, the ball rolled in.
I thought it was a deceptive release from Vanthof. Instead, it was an extremely fortunate bounce off of a defensive play. Peros and her mates turned out to be Amber Hill's worst enemies. It's 8-8, tied for the 3rd time. Waters' team has the lead 3-2 in this frame alone. It was a 6-5 Old Miller lead at the halftime break before we were involved in a weather delay. Since that time, the temperatures have skyrocketed. The sun has poured through the clouds. And your friendly announce team has gone full sunglasses and visors to do whatever they can to shield from the glare. Warden on the go. Worked over by McComb. Levy outside the 8-meter key. Time ticks down, 10 seconds left. Levy already with a hat trick today. Finds Kent. Kent eludes Rudkin for a moment. Oss there at the buzzer. Stopped by Hill. A big save for 99 in the purple. Making that save, keeping it 8-8. But Team Waters wins the quarter 3-2.
As we watch from the clock winding down, a great cut by Alex Ost. She works so very well with Kenzie Kent, but an even bigger save in goal for Amber Hill.
Goalie's playing great. Can't get enough. Always a colorful display with Athletes Unlimited here at Maureen Hendricks Field of the Maryland Soccerplex, where Nicole Levy has put on a shooting show, Courtney, with a hat trick before the fourth quarter.
Allie Levy does a great job of coming off of her teammate right there. She had time and room, so she wound up for that power shot. But then I love this right here. We see her fake the power shot from downtown. She decides to carry it a little longer. This shows her versatility on the field as she comes around the cage, gained a few steps around the crease, and then this time she's up the left side, shielding the goalkeeper, not able to see that ball as she comes up and over her head, making it difficult for the keeper to save that ball.
Golds from Levy, all shapes and sizes. She's almost at 1,000 points on the leaderboard overall. You can see she's earned a couple of MVP points at the bottom of the screen. Back in her day at Syracuse, she had a 4-goal game at Notre Dame. She had a 5-goal game against Boston College. She can erupt offensively. As we break this game up into thirds for you, every time your team wins the quarter, everybody on your roster gets 20 points. Ohlmiller did that in the first. They've lost the 20 to Waters both times in the second and third. As a result, the win points play out this way with 8 minutes to go in regulation, and Team Waters with Kaylee trying to chase down Taylor Cummings, needing every point she can get.
Needing every quarter point for sure. This is what I love about Athletes Unlimited. The fact that the score is tied, but how the quarters shake out. 20 points for Team Ohlmiller and 40 points for Team Waters. And Ohlmiller has led. Waters has not led throughout this game at all.
Taryn Vanthoff had a really good draw control quarter. In fact, Team Waters, the orange squad, won 5 of 6 at the draw, and they get possession to start the fourth with Johansson. Amanda was a facilitator in the first couple of weeks of the season. Team Waters is facilitator this weekend, Lauren Kahn. Her opposite number for Team Ohlmiller is Shanta Lecker. Sneaky short side, it's Alex Ost.
Alex and Kenzie Kent working together around the goal cage. Anytime you can gain a step on your defensive player, working with the two-man, that's pick and rolls, give and goes. And right here we see Alex setting a pick, made the defensive players have to change, but there was a little bit of a miscue. Both players went towards Kenzie, and we'll see that right here, which is what opened up just a small step for Alex Ost to come around the opposite side. She got a step on her defensive player, and every little second matters, every little communication matters, whether you do it offensively with that in mind or not. That's what you try to do out of that two-man game. Mix up the defense, less about knowing what each other's doing offensively together.
Good to see Ost back on the board again. She scored against Team Glenn last evening. It's the first lead of the day for the team dressed in the orange jerseys. Ost had been blanked her last 2 games prior to this weekend after she tallied in her first 7 as a pro. Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse, these players receive base pay, they get win bonuses, they get leaderboard bonuses. We're in the process tomorrow of crowning a champion, just one of the 58 players that have been in residence now for 5 weeks, some 30 miles north of DC. They've had great fun on the field, they've had great fun and camaraderie off of it. Ohlmiller fires, that's snagged by Waters, another save for her, give her 6 points. And players have been getting out and playing some golf. They've been at tennis tournaments in the area, baseball games in the area.
They've been tourists of DC. You know, they've had a fun time together, despite the fact that they may not be on the team that week. Every time teams change.
Perro sniping to the net. Nice to see the same thing happening with softball as they prepare for season number 2 of Athletes Unlimited. Saw a lot of social media cutaways of the players enjoying a baseball game in the Chicagoland area. Perros gets it in gear. Works around Johansson, feeds it inside. Ohlmiller on her way down, she scores! Kylie has been queen of the highlight reel, and she's done it again.
Each of these teams have done a tremendous job of answering back whenever a goal is scored on them. Next possession, we have seen the offense take control. This is Kylie's second goal for today. Ultimately, it wasn't in a dodging situation. She became the cutter. It was a little pick and roll action. Look at her extension as she reached for that ball. She was able to bring it in all under control. This nice pick that she set for Emily Paris, that's what gave her space. She grabbed that ball under the pressure with 2 defensive players around her. Tremendous handle inside before finishing.
That's an amazing goal in a highly congested spot. I mean, she went into traffic and was able to find the ball and do what she does best. Makes it a 9-9 game with 6:16 to go in regulation. McCone figuring out Vanthoff there at the draw circle. Katrina Dowd will work in 6-on-6 for the team dressed in the purple. Earlier today, Taylor Cummings an 8-4 victor over Team Katie Glynn. Sam Apuzzo was the big star with 3 goals and 2 assists. Taylor Cummings lengthening her lead on the overall leaderboard, trying to be the inaugural champion of Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse by end of play tomorrow. Ohlmiller started the weekend number 4 on that leaderboard. Works in against Wakefield. The pass to the interior for Kennedy, that was deflected high. 15 seconds to shoot for McCone. Feed it. Ohlmiller scores! Shooting from the hip.
Lindsay McCone had her eyes up offensively. Her eyes were all over her captain, Kylie Ohlmiller.
Our cameras tend to follow Kylie Ohlmiller around, and they do it for really good reason. Find the ball, score the ball in Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse. Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse is sponsored by Guaranteed Rate. If you believe it, you can do it. Pictures from Media Day 5 weeks ago when we were introduced to this gang, a great bunch of Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse players, the pioneers of this pro league, the Tar Heels there, Wooden Wakefield, the Wolverine Shane, who was so strong today again in the first half. It's a 10-9 advantage for Team Ohlmiller in the fourth. As we thank our presenting field partners from Geico for their support, generosity throughout the season. Game number 28 of 30 this season. Kylie Ohlmiller, Courtney, with the last 2 goals less than a minute apart.
Kylie loves to shake and bake. She not only can score from in tight, but her quick rolls, her stutters are what give her the ability to score. And then right here, inside, tough handles. She was able to bring that ball inside, working with Emily Peros. That quick release, not taking it in close, is what caught Kaylee Waters off guard right there. She was able to stutter, jab, and gain a little edge on her defensive player.
Over 1,400 points, in the top 10 still for Kylie O'Miller. Back-to-back goals for her side. The last time they did that, it was a 3-0 lead for the team in purple off the outset. We get back to work in the fourth. Kennedy's bounce shot denied by Waters. Rebound was there. Great defensive effort. Wakefield was right in the face of Sammy Jo Tracy, or else 13 purple would have popped in that rebound. Courtney, when we get back to 6-on-6 play, you've noticed players that are being shut off at each end.
That's right. Offensively for Team O'Miller, Wakefield has stepped out on her previously, making sure to try and deny her the ball. At the opposite end of the field, you have Rudkin all over Kenzie Kent. In transition, it can be hard to match up, but in settled, they want to try and deny them the ball as much as possible, and that's what they're doing.
Kennedy going to goal, fought off again by Waters. 6 more points for the keeper. With that save, she's got 9 in this contest. Wakefield looking to clear. Warden picks it up near midfield, almost halfway through the fourth in what is a 1-point game. If we're tied at the end of regulation, we'll go to sudden victory OT. Levy has plenty of other ideas before that. She'll spot Molly Garrett. Garrett, so much time on the tennis court with her family growing up. Tense action as Kent turns and scores. Kenzie Kent has produced the hat trick today.
Kenzie Kent does such a great job with her footwork, getting Kathy Rudkin on her heels. It's very tough to mark an attacking player who stops and goes on a dime. The slides are a bit late defensively for Team O'Miller. Their attacking players were doing a great job of keeping them busy off ball. So we saw right there, Kathy thought she was going to take off the other direction. Kenzie can stop and go so quickly. Her change of direction, very tough to follow defensively.
Kenzie Kent's biggest game this season was 4 goals and 4 assists in week 3 against a team that was piloted by Kayla Wood. It's a 10-10 game now. Kent has 3 goals. It's the 5th time we've been tied in this game alone. Off the ground comes Garrett. Ugh, the Wolverine gets cleaned out along the sideline.
So these athletes, they're so strong and athletic, but it's a very physical game. We see right here that check by Kathy Rudkin. It looked good. It looked like it was all stick, that she didn't get anybody. Ultimately, the referee's calling a foul. And we're probably going to see a quick double on ball, especially if both of those players in orange stay side by side.
Official Peggy Salucci giving Garrett a little time to shake out the cobwebs there. 3:45 left in the fourth of a 10-10 game. Team Waters in orange with Warden streaking inside. Warden scores! Haley Warden would not be denied.
Back-to-back goals right now by Team Waters. Looks like a little bit of fatigue defensively for Team O'Miller. They're creating a lot of space offensively. Again, when you do that, it means your slides are coming from a farther distance. Haley's such a smart offensive player. She knows when she has space. She knows how to protect, put her body between her stick and her defender. Ultimately, that's what she did right here as she tucked underneath. Incredibly smart, but the more space you have on the offensive end, the better opportunities you have.
Goal number 9 for Warden this season. 2 tallies 19 seconds apart. 11-10 for Waters. Down the stretch we go in a great finish. High in the air, Johansson with one hand on her cross. The whistle comes. More players needing to pick themselves up off of the Kentucky Bluegrass here at Maureen Hendricks Field at the Maryland Soccerplex. McCone will check out. The defenders for Team Ohlmiller, Dowdy and Rudkin, Hirsch and Bonani, have to watch at the offensive end as McMahon gets back in gear along with Kennedy, always a driving force with her speed. Wakefield in conjunction with McKenzie and Riley and Simpkins defensively for Waters, the captain of her side. McMahon on the flip for Dowd. Katrina Dowd glides in against Garrett. Shot clock's at 15. Ohlmiller wants it. Kylie, long range. Kaylee with a save. Waters, that is. Off the scoop, who's going to come up with it? It's Dowd and a new 60-second shot clock. Katrina on the inside roll, hedged there by McKenzie. On the wraparound, Waters just does get back on Dowd. Unsettled here, it belongs to Peros, and she will calm things down. 6-on-6, inside Tracy! Sammy Joe did not get that one to find a home.
Joe, there's been so much action these last few shots.
You're telling me.
And then getting the ball back, you want to make sure to slow things down offensively. Once you get the ball back, it's take your time.
You can tell by the looks on their faces, the intensity level is climbing. 11-10 for Team Waters, with a timeout asked for by Team Ohlmiller. It's a 1-point game. Folks, we want you to head to auprosports.com. That's where you can get your athletes unlimited gear. Don't forget to follow us on social at AU Pro Sports for exclusive inside content. The shadows are growing longer here at Hendricks Field. 11-10. Waters has the advantage. Courtney, we are prepping for the Geico defensive play of the game today. Compliments of 16 in the purple.
Kathy Rudkin has done such a great job defensively on one of the top players. Selling out right there with a check from behind. Kathy Rudkin, she's super tough, and we can see that in this play. Trying to get that little wrap check. Ultimately, she comes up with it, diving for it. Kathy's been so consistently playing well on that defensive end, getting low, steady, and ready.
Kathy loves to volunteer. Told us that her mom was a field hockey coach. With respect to Defensive Player of the Year, that award will be handed out tomorrow in the closing ceremonies. These are your finalists: Block, Simpkins, and Wood. The Athletes Unlimited Award comes with an added $5,000 bonus for the winner. Not just individual stats, not just specific stats, but all the intangibles considering league play and defensive work. As far as the in-game leaderboard is concerned, Courtney, let's have a peek at who's moving up and down.
No surprise with Kaylee Waters leading. Ultimately, she has a lot of saves, but she causes turnovers within the goal cage. Kylie Ohlmiller at number 9 spot. She has the ability to score. She causes turnovers as she's riding, but in order to continue to move up, it's not just about the stats. You need to make sure that you're doing your job on the field so others vote you for one of those 3 coveted MVP spots, and then the all-important quarter points.
In this quarter, Waters' team, dressed in orange, has the 3-2 lead. That would be worth 20 for everybody on your side. Restart it with Izzy McMahon, teaming up with Emily Peros. McMahon, as they clear it out on the sweep, she fires and scores! Izzy McMahon off of a set piece.
Oftentimes when you change things up offensively, good things can come from them. Your opposing team, the defense, can get set and ready for things that you've already done or what they're guessing that you may set up. And isolation for Izzy McMahon is certainly not something that Team Waters would have guessed at. Izzy has such a quick stutter step. She changes direction and is able to explode offensively so quickly. She had a lot of success with that top high right dodge when she was at USC, and we saw it the other day when she scored 4 goals.
Daughter of Paul and Karen had 4 against Team Wood back on Monday. Her mom coached her growing up. She says the lioness is her spirit animal. You could see the lion roar there after tying things at 11. A wild conclusion to this one shaping up with a little less than 2 minutes to go. The scoreboard overall even. The score in the 4th quarter is even. Kenzie Kent taking Rudkin a long way from the cage. Rudkin right there in her hip pocket. Kent off the roll dodge around the screen set by Ost. Ost will now try to get lost and then get to the front of the cage for the quick stick. Not this time.
That was a much better job defensively. They got through that little pick and roll. The communication was better defensively, which meant there was not an opportunity to dodge in that situation.
Bad pass from Levy sends Sammy Jo Tracy away. Sammy Jo feeds. Dowd goes to the cage. It scores! Unsettled Katrina Dowd.
Katrina and Sammy Jo Tracy. That's teacher with the student. Katrina taught Sammy Jo Tracy what to do on the field offensively with her time at UNC. We look at the opposite end of the field, a long pass. That's what created this offensive situation. Sammy Jo Tracy so good with one hand on her stick from her time at the draw control. Quick movement inside to Katrina, who was tracking her every step of the way. Look at that speed, her hustle to get into the right spot. So that way Sammy Jo had an option.
Dowd, as we slow it down, not slow enough for Kaylee Waters. Katrina has the hat trick. She had a hat trick against Dempsey Arsenault in week 4. Dempsey Arsenault, who was among the top 7 on the leaderboard but did not play injured in week 4 or week 5. Dowd right to the goal cam and giving Ohlmiller the 1-point lead with just 68 seconds left. Katrina, who came over from Germany a few weeks before the start of the Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse season, trying to end it in style. Off the draw, a timeout was called by Team Waters in orange. As Kaylee trots to meet her mates, Katrina is all smiles after her leading tally.
Joe, ultimately right now, each team, they're allowed 1 timeout per quarter. They don't carry over. They have possession of the ball. There's 60 seconds on the shot clock. They want to make sure they set something up well in order to equalize this game. And we've seen them have a lot of success as of their last few goals with isolation plays, getting steps on their defensive players.
After Haley Warden made it 11-10 for Waters, it was McMahon with this bullet.
An excellent job. That quick, explosive dodge by Izzy McMahon, and then the fast break, Sammy Jo Tracy to Katrina Dowd. We saw that an open Kylie Ohlmiller, in case she was needed, was in her ready position. Everybody always thinking steps ahead, plays ahead. How can I put myself in the best possible situation to help my team?
Those goals for McMahon and Dowd happening in 46 seconds. Just about a heartbeat now, 12-11 with 1:04 to go. Kylie Ohlmiller's team trying to protect the 1-point advantage. Ohlmiller tomorrow will face Katie Glynn at 2 p.m. Team Waters gets Team Cummings in the finale at 6 on CBS Sports Network. The Geico leaderboard, Cummings still outlasting Waters. Apuzzo is climbing quickly. And Katie Glynn earlier today falling to Team Cummings. Every point that Waters can muster is valuable, so that means quarter points and win points that are available. Right now, Waters' team is losing the 4th and losing the game where it matters most. A precious 65 points for Kaylee on the line. Warden picked up on the outside by Sydney Parecka. Her sister Shayna involved in the losing effort earlier today. Shayna, who is so good from 2. Garrett closing in on the 8-meter key. If you score from behind it, you get 2 points for the team, 16 for yourself. 37 seconds to go in the contest. Levy for Warden. Around the Johansson screen. They play the 2-player game, connecting with Kent. She knows she has 20 seconds to shoot. Kenzie Kent fidgets in there against Rudkin. The flip for Levy. Levy bullying her way inside. Flip it back for Kent. 10 seconds to shoot. Deflected, takeaway, Dowdy. Huge defensive play. That could seal the deal for Ohlmiller. 5 seconds left. Dowd hoists it high in the air. Time is going to expire. Ohlmiller, a 12-11 win.
Such an exciting back and forth game. When one team would score, the other would answer. Goalkeepers making great plays, starting their offense. These tight games, while exciting to watch, don't help individual players move up the leaderboard.
What a huge mood swing. You think about it, it was 11-10 for Waters after Warden scored. McMahon and Dowd doing the job getting them the lead, and then the defense stiffens.
A great job defensively. We have Meg Dowdy breaking her feet down, and that quick double, Kathy Rudkin stepping up, causing that turnover. That's what sealed the win for Team Ohlmiller.
Courtney, that was a great lacrosse game. We had 4 lead changes in the 4th quarter alone. Dowd and Tracy celebrating in the royal purple. That sweep, that 46-second switch of momentum gives Ohlmiller the 4th quarter win points and the game win points. So 65 there for everybody dressed in purple. That's how quickly things can change on the Geico leaderboard.
Lacrosse is definitely a game of runs. You want to try and limit the opposing team, but it does make it exciting. It's all about winning the draw and then capitalizing once your team gains possession, making sure you finish the play. And I'll tell you, defense stepped up countless times, causing turnovers, giving more and more opportunities to their attackers.
A show of respect through the handshake line. We have one more busy day left with Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse. There's the injured Hallie Majorana rooting on her side. To come on Sunday, it begins on FS1, 2 p.m. Eastern, Team Glenn and Team Ohlmiller. And then Waters and Cummings to close matters at 6.
You know, as we look at this, there's just one team that's had all wins, and that's Team Cummings. But just because they have a lot of wins does not mean that Team Waters can't step up. They have the players to do it. It's just a matter of putting the pieces together. They've had 2 close losses back-to-back.
Players starting to trade jerseys. As we look at the Geico leaderboard, Taylor Cummings will start the day on top. These numbers do not include the MVP voting. Waters is in second, Apuzzo in third. As the players grab the tablets now, and they'll vote for 3 different players for MVP. A fabulous game, well worth a hug. 12-11, the final for Kylie Ohlmiller. For Courtney Martinez-Connor, for all the men and women in our hardworking crew, Joe Beninati, thanks for your time this time. Until next, be sure to be with us tomorrow. We'll bring the curtain down on Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse. A little shake and bake with Mira. Too much with Team Purple on top.